Hey, welcome. Hey, and welcome, you guys. Welcome back for those of you that are joining us from the last live and know that your girl is having a little bit of technical difficulty as far as StreamYard is concerned. So that's why the picture looked like that. It's a little weird, but here we are. We're getting ready to get into Beauty in the Black. That's what we're going to talk about today, you guys. But before we get started, please remember to do all of the things that are at the bottom of the screen. Like the video, comment in the comment section, share this video. We share your videos, turn on your notifications because, yeah. And happy Sunday, you guys. Hello, Daria. If you're still here, what's good? DeMarcus Vaughn. Hey. Let me bring our ladies up. Yes, please like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Hey, Greta. We have in the building first, it is your favorite diva, Nita the Diva.
Hey. Welcome back.
And also we have Shayna _MCD.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, welcome back, ladies. Listen, I still couldn't figure it out, so this is what we got, and it's just a couple of pictures of a couple of scenes. We're going to get into Beauty in the Black. We did 1 through 3 kind of vaguely, so we're going to focus on 4 through 6 this video, and get into a little bit of what happened. So when we last left off with episode 3, instead of getting a good old the dinner table scene, we got a boardroom scene. So we left off at episode 3 with Norman busted up in the boardroom, asking which one of you MFers ran over my wife. Child. It was hysterical to say the least. And now the table is silent. He is slamming his shoe on the doggone table. And Horace kind of has to check him about, listen, don't come in here in my office on this 10 like you're doing a little bit too much, sir. But he starts going back and forth. Norman is shutting down anybody that tries to get in his way. He done told Mallory he done to be quiet. He done called Charles a fruitcake. Charles just catching strays. All he doing is just sitting there looking at the corn on his phone. That's what he was trying to do. So now he's just about to show him exactly how sweet he is. Horace and Norman kind of fought over the business, and Norman feels like, Horace is a little jealous, and he's calling him a dumbass because, you're the reason why we're in this now. What kind of chemist doesn't know what causes cancer? But Norman, again, he gets to pointing these fingers, calling Charles a little B. Olivia's trying to defuse the situation. And he's kind of saying, you're the reason why these kids are this way. A loser who lets a man climb on his back. I said, well, Daddy, that is very rich coming from you. Norman's upset that these boys are being protected. And Horace asked him where your kids at, because Norman ain't got no kids. So there's that. And he tells them, if my wife dies, I'm gonna burn this mother effer to the ground. And Norman, he means that ish. Okay, he means it. So we see a stronger and meaner Horace, which I wasn't a fan of. Olivia tries to get him back on the same page because he says, Norman is going to be a man of his word and he knows where the bodies are buried. So ladies, talk to me about anything with this whole boardroom scene and the sneaker and the name calling and finger pointing. We start with you, Nita.
I was going to say, go ahead and give it to Shayna because I know she got
okay. Go ahead. Oh, that's right. Shayna doesn't have to go. No, Marcus, I'm not.
No, it's I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie, I was cracking up at the scene, and that's when I started liking the Uncle Norman. But yeah, Charles did catch a stray, and it's just like, dang, Charles can't catch a break. Horace, the nerve, projecting on your son like that when you wish you could live in your truth, like he's living freely in his. I want to know what happened with Norman's kids? Because everybody was like, oh, that's low. Oh, no. So I'm like, does something happen? Like, we need to build around that. I just thought
maybe he doesn't have any.
I didn't know if he just didn't have any, if something happened. Like, they didn't elaborate. Like, yeah, because they were like, oh, he was like, don't you go there. Like, if you just didn't have any, it wouldn't be all of that. They wouldn't be like, oh, that's low. Why would you say that? Yeah. Like, so Tyler Perry needs to build around that.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to it in part 2.
Yes. I'm hoping, because he's good for forgetting about stuff. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, it was entertaining to say the least. We need to find out why this family is the way it is.
Yes. Why is everybody so mad and mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Nita, you got any thoughts?
Did y'all get any vibes that one of those kids could possibly be Norman's? Her children, her boys, because they are divorced.
No.
Her and
Yeah, somebody was saying that
I
on the live
mean,
yesterday. I didn't see that, but I mean, now that you put it like that, I don't think so. I
it's
it
don't
the
could
think
be.
I
Look,
think
it
no, it
probably have to be
could.
Charles. Who's
yeah,
the
there's
who's
It
the
might be
one
Charles.
business. I'm sorry.
no? Was saying who's the youngest kid. Like it would have to probably be the
Charles.
youngest kid. It's probably Charles. Yeah,
Well, we
Yeah,
don't know when she was cheating. They just said they were cheating. They didn't say what time
right.
frame.
That's true.
yeah. I think
Could be
Charles is the
Roy.
youngest. He acts like the youngest, and she treats him like the baby
Yeah.
It's
for sure.
because he's little. You could put him in your pocket. I mean, so Olivia is trying to get Charles to come stay with her because she's worried for his safety. And it was Calvin throws Roy under the bus. No, Charles throws Roy under the bus because he caught Jillian trying to come in and give him some services. So Calvin is upset and says that's who we need to look at, because Jules is talking to Norman, trying to get, they're trying to get their ducks in a row. He's asking him for help. So after he leaves, he's kind of pissed off and we throwing him under the bus. And apparently Jules has dirt on Calvin and Jillian too. I said this whole family is nothing but just like
Secrets and lies.
Yes. Everybody that works for them is like, it's dirt on you. It's dirt on you. You have to do what I tell you or not. So over at the hospital, Olivia pays Norman a visit. She's trying to smooth things over. He's kind of peeping game. Like you guys said, apparently these two messed around before, so the wife is not really a fan, but she's unconscious. So we ain't got to worry about Miss Ina. And she's kind of begging him not to hurt the boys, but he's not budging. So she decides to show her cards and say that, listen, I know about you and Jules trafficking men and women since he worked at the airport and you were on the bench letting them all off. And now you're moving millions across state lines and you sent the ones kind of that didn't obey to jail. And so she's like, she's willing to expose it if he goes after her boys. And Norman said he don't give a F when it comes to his wife. And Olivia said the same when it comes to her boys. And she said, why you trying to protect those horrible little mother effers? And she said, because they are horrible little mother effers. If that ain't a mama for you, okay? Thoughts on Norman and the hospital and Ina, because I'm still trying to know how this lady, I have it later in my notes, how this lady survived this whole thing, but
old.
I'm wondering if Forrest knew anything about it, like about them messing around, because I mean Ina did, so I'm wondering who else knew about this. And then it was just crazy. Like, man, I didn't see them throwing that in there, but I'm like, okay, you used to mess around. What else was going on? Like, tell us more.
Right.
That whole church act that she been cussing people out left and right. Like, girl, just drop it.
And get her good cussing on too, because sometimes when people curse, it don't sound right. But
yeah, like you thinking about it, it was like she just flowed off her mouth effortlessly. Then she came with the receipts. Don't show these receipts if you're not going to use them. He was trafficking and you didn't. Why you didn't do nothing about it?
Because she really does look. I mean, she feels really worried. You know what I'm saying? Like she knows a different side of that man, and so that's why I was saying like maybe something between them or whatever. I was just like,
they could have a kid together. I feel like she didn't want to give up the secret, but like she's like, this is my last ditch effort to protect these crazy boys. And I laugh because nobody. Well, she at least is trying to protect them because Horace is like, I can't stand the mother.
I'm like, you trying to protect your sons, but knowing that somebody is doing like a crime like this and not saying nothing about it is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. But who knows what other secrets I'm like really excited to get to part 2 since we got like a good bit of dirt from 1 to 8. So after all this is over, Mallory is talking to Varney. She's asking for his legal expertise. So she asked him out for a drink. And now while they're having drinks, she is asking him if he would like to, have the sexuals. And he was like, what? putting her off, but she was ready to bend over and touch her toes because it's been a while. Because Roy is too busy sleeping around and he can't really quite, keep the thing up like he needs to keep it up. So she politely turns him down and leaves him to pay the bill. And we find out exactly why that is in episode 5. But she tells Miss Jillian to go find herself a ride home and ask Calvin to take her home. Now, earlier, Calvin and Jillian get into an argument because apparently these two are seeing each other, but we heard about her being in Roy's office about to be on her knees. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to explain, like, listen, they own us. They own us. So, I was about to do what I had to do. But Mallory, she's in the thing. She's hot and bothered. She tells him to get in the back seat. And she asks him, am I beautiful? Men used to throw themselves at me when I was younger, but now they're just looking at Jillian, and that's why I dress her the way that I do, and she still gets looks. So Mallory is about to have her some Tasha and Sean time in that back seat. So he pushes up on her, and he goes downtown, and Jillian drives past in the Uber in sheer disgust. I said, Jillian, why? Jillian, why? So now she's waiting for them when they get home. But Mallory don't care. She curses her on out and sends her, go to bed, go to your room. So she tells Calvin, like, because, we figure out what happened. So he's mad, she's mad. And, she's kind of saying she's going to try to do the whole Roy thing. And Jillian's coming off a little unstable. I'm worried for Jillian in part 2. I mean, we got 7 and 8 to get through next week, but Jillian's given a little unstable. Any thoughts on Mr. Varney and Miss Mallory and this whole fiasco?
It was just a mess. I don't have too much to say. Shayna can say something, but
no, I mean, yeah, but it's a mess. Hey, Lawrence. Right. Hey, Mama Mac. Hey, JB. Yeah, it's just a mess. But I mean, Jillian was right. Like, they do own them, so it's not like she was just cheating on him and just doing like the way Calvin took it. Like, she just wanted to do it. The way that story kind of turned around, that was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, JB, you don't watch this?
I'm surprised JB doesn't watch it. Then again, I mean, it's a talent,
He said, "I got it."
Everybody can't take Tyler Perry shows. I was like,
yeah, she just need a little special attention, a little special care in that backseat with her badass attitude. Lord,
it didn't change anything. It didn't make her attitude any better. So it was like, it was just the way she like threw herself at the lawyer, and then he turned her no. He told her no, like, "Ooh, girl,
that was
some
crazy."
Dignity, like, then you gonna try again with your driver,
baby. That's And I think it was in episode 3 we got into the amount because they were talking about whether to, because this is what she was supposed to be having the legal expertise from him, was should they settle, because the insurance will pay I think $100 million, but the lawsuit is like $1 billion or some kind of crazy numbers where it would bankrupt them. So honestly, when they sit down this conversation, ain't much to be said. So that's why she was like, let me just bend over to the floor and touch my toes and get on the good foot. But
and then she really, I mean, the way when she did that with him, then he started acting funny later on. So it's like he thinking that he owned things, he running things. So gotta be careful sleeping with the help.
That part was disturbing. It was getting a little creepy for me. I was like, what is really going on here? Oh no. Don't. If y'all don't go ahead and get Lord Jesus. Anyway, so we have, hold on, I'm gonna knock my camera. Well, it's just gonna have to be up there for now. So we get a call from Kimmy's no good mama asking for money. She's still with that man. Angel shows up and he says right after this little conversation that he looked up Horace. And so he suggests that they kind of hit a lick as far as Horace is concerned. He finds out that the watch is worth 1.2 million. So, they're feeling like they could get out of their situation they could have gotten out of it by selling the watch, but now they somehow think that as powerful as this man is, that they should try to rob them, or at least Angel, but he is the reason why they're in all of this. And Kimmy, at first, she don't think it's a good idea. And I agree. When she gets to work, Body starts talking ish about, Rain having asthma, and that's why she's in the hospital. And I said, well, I don't know why this girl keeps lying and saying that Daga did her body, because clearly you do not have the fix-a-flat in your bottom. But okay, girl. And Body's just doing the same thing. She's trying to recruit more people to get the same old horrible surgery and put all the same horrible stuff in their body. And a dancer's kind of noticing the bruises from them beating up Kimmy, and it's like, you might want to put a little makeup on that. So she goes out there, she starts hitting her little. I said, Kimmy is the saddest stripper I'd ever seen in my whole entire life. So now they're looking at what she owes, and they said she owes Jules $237,000 and Rain owes $400,000. I said, he just be making up numbers. I said, Now I wish that Delinda was more in control, so we got more of her and less of Body, because Body just aggravates my nerves, but that's just the personal side. So Horace comes back and breaks her up from this horrible dancing. He's there to see Kimmy, but he really there to see Angel. But now she's got a new attitude because she feels like he's responsible for this whole organization. So he says that he's been into women all his life, but in his old age, he's gotten curious, because he's like, you're not going to dance? And she was like, I don't have nothing you want. And then she returns the watch, and like I said, she's acting funny. He kind of picks up on that, and then she's like, kind of saying, I know who you are, but she never gets specific until it's too late. I think in like episode 7, she never gets specific. So they're kind of talking to each other, but nobody's like really connecting what these points are. Like I said, well, this could be fixed with communication, but now he's annoyed. So he gets up and he gets ready to leave, but he sees Charles is out there with Angel. I say, oh, and y'all got the same taste. Looky here. So he goes to hide, but he wants Angel to get away from Charles. So she goes out there, separates the two of them, and they set up a meeting for later. She was like, I'm not gonna let you rob that man. He's like, no, we could just meet up in your motel room. So they get back to the motel room. They tell her to, give them an hour. And they talk about money and the watch, and then he gets down to the nakedness of it all and dances for him. But then when Horace touches him, he coughs blood on him, and I said, ill. It would have been a wrap. It would have been no more dancing after that. He's like, are you contagious? And he goes in the bathroom and wipes it off, and he continues. And I was like, why? Continuing, because I'm a dance from across the room. Like, that's just gross. And while they're having their moment, Kimmy takes it upon herself to go to the hospital again to see Rain, and the bed is empty. And the lady of the few beds over tells her that Rain has passed away. And that essentially is the end of episode 4. So anything about Kimmy's no good mama, Body's no good self, these astronomical amounts that they owe, or Horace and his coffin on Angel, any of those
because that was a lot of information at once. I was like, let me make sure I don't miss anything. What did we do again? Dagger came in and Body jumped her. I'm trying to remember where everything that happened. She just said, yeah, that Dagger and them trying to do that. Clearly, Body is getting a piece of the pie. I don't know why anybody would be trying to get that fix a flat anybody at this point. It's just crazy, like that y'all would even do that to yourselves, knowing that something happened to Rain. But they must not have jumped her that well. She had a couple bruises, but she still got up, walked it off, and was able to dance that night and go to the hospital. So it's like y'all didn't really do nothing but just annoy yourselves, because she's not afraid of y'all. I'm kind of tired of seeing Body too. She's not cut for the job. Nobody takes her seriously. I need Kimmy to stand up for herself. Like, I'm tired of her just letting them do whatever to her. But the mom calling was crazy, because I'm like, I thought trafficking victims like can't call their families and stuff. Like, she casually making phone calls. She applying for scholarships. She's sending money. Like, they just doing whatever. Like, are y'all really victims? It seems like y'all can kind of just get up and leave if you want to.
Yeah, they have very little limitations. I will agree to
like,
that.
y'all are just, I mean,
right.
I didn't think that you could just do all of that. Like, you sending money to people. The fact that the mom was even still calling her after she dropped her off is crazy to me. Like, I'm not sending you a dime. Sorry, little sis, but
that's crazy. That was just
Horace coughing. I'm like, and Angel is just a problem. Like he's just always gonna be a problem. He don't think strategically. That's why they're there. I agree with Tamika. Listen, it would have been easier for them to just go get locked up. They probably would have been done doing time by now before they pay off this debt.
Right.
First offense, something.
I would right. I think Kimmy was still a teen, was still a minor. I would have went and asked for a retrial with a new judge before I sat there and did all this. Like, you're not gonna hold this over my head forever. Like,
right.
They never getting out of this debt. Stealing that watch knowing Jules works for him is just a stupid idea. Like nothing made sense.
Right. Yeah. Talk about hustling backwards. I was
right.
Like, hell, what are we doing here?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Go ahead, Nita.
Yeah, no, I didn't have I mean, it was a lot of information for sure. I did believe the whole thing when the bed was empty because the way that the nurses was treating, all of the things, I believed it. Like, sorry, spoiler alert, just in case y'all haven't watched all of it, but I did believe it. I was just like, I just knew that girl was about to be a goner, but
I was surprised she made it that long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when she said they was making fun of her and hurting her, and she ain't seen no doctor. I think that was in like 1 to 3. I was like, "Oh, child, she going."
But how did they move her alive when she was alive and the old lady? Like what?
He could have been asleep, child, or maybe the old lady was asleep and didn't just.
She just saw an empty bed and was like,
just saw an empty bed and she just assumed,
and
whatever. But yeah, that was a mess.
That was Tina. DeMarcus be knowing everybody, child.
Okay.
Kimmy's sister played Tina. Wait a minute, Tina. Who's Tina? Tina is the one that the girl that was running with them in BMF.
Yeah, I think that's the young one.
Okay.
I think
he'll DeMarcus definitely pays attention to these characters.
Child, if I don't write it down, I'll be like homeboy and homegirl and the one in the red shirt.
You have an IMDb up.
They didn't really do a good job with the names this season either. I had to put the captions on just to even find out.
You good? I mean, if that's your memory, that's what's up.
Yeah,
but I be needing a reference.
We need DeMarcus in here. We would be like,
I had the
cousin, uncle.
I had the same one as Inga with all the character names on it, but after the difficulties we having, I was like, we just gonna put these scenes up here because all I had was just those two, and I was like, we just gonna go with this, and hopefully by next week StreamYard get their ass together, so it don't have to look like this. But, yeah. So where do we move on to? So she gets back to the motel. She's definitely in a mood, but when she gets back there, Body and Delinda are right there. She got some other girls. They jump her again. She slaps her, reprimands her, and then she says she's been calling her for hours, so she puts her in the car. Now they don't make it too clear, but later on we see. So I guess Roy did want to hook up with her again because in episodes 1 through 3, the wife, found out and he figured out that she was actually called the wife. So he wanted revenge. I had forgot all about that. Next thing we know, she gets thrown in the car and she walking into the building and she's changed. So she goes to see Roy and she's all dressed and changed. And he's asking her, did you call my wife? And she was like, no, how would I do that? So he's, starts to get, talking about, his parents hate him and the world is on his shoulder. He's running the company. Just, real delusional Roy is. So he blames her for not being able to get him up. Not that he's not on a kabillion drugs, but I digress. And then he says, basically she's too stupid to call the wife. I said, not the stupid one calling somebody else stupid because the family been calling you stupid all season long. But okay, now you calling Kimmy stupid. So he puts her out and she manages to make it back to the motel in the nick of time where Angel is getting ready to leave and he thinks that she's his PIMP. I said, oh, okay. So Horace leaves and Angel tells Kimmy about the coughing of the blood and he just talking. Meanwhile, Kimmy's checked out. She didn't tell this man what happened to Rain, but she's just checked out. She's not saying nothing. She's just sitting there. His baby's mom been calling him for hours, so he finally answers, but it's too late because she is outside with her brothers going ham, cheese, and bologna on the car that she paid for. So now he can't go home, and he's stuck in this stinking motel with Kimmy. He comes back in the room, he's crying, he's hollering, he's like, Kimmy, she got other things on her mind. Her friend is going and she ain't said nothing. He's like, I could have just sold the watch. It's not fair. He wants out. And so finally she agrees to hit this lick on Horace, which we know is an absolute bad idea. Right. So on poor Kimmy getting scooped up into the car, having to deal with Roy's nonsense. And then all of this after she finds out supposedly that Rain is gone. And then back to homegirl busting the windows out his car.
Listen, that whole thing with that the baby mama. Oh my God! When I tell you, I was cracking up. I just thought it was so funny. I don't know why.
That's why you don't play with people.
Right. And to me, it felt like he had more feelings for the damn car than he had for his son.
Yeah.
Like it's your son an afterthought. You ain't thinking about nothing else. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. Yes.
Mm-hmm. She sure did.
Bust the windows out the car, baby. Yolanda was not playing.
All the Angel's plans are dumb.
Yeah.
All of his plans are dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't have much to say. You know how Tyler Perry stuff.
Yeah, foolishness.
Okay, just watching. I'm waiting for the next.
She's like, I'm just a squirrel.
The next Clinton show.
Oh my God!
I just be laughing.
Yeah, Kimmy made a bad. Yeah, she did. But I mean, I feel like her mom put her in that position because had she not put her out, she didn't have nowhere to go. So she's trusting this poor girl that's trusting Angel and his bad plans.
Yeah.
And that's how they ended up in it. But I don't know what I would have done at 17 and on the street with $10. Like,
yeah,
that's why I want to give her some grace. I want to give her a little bit of grace for, how her mom threw her out there to the wolves. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
Yep. And I want to know about Angel's background. Like, what's going on with him that he was even trying to do this in the first place?
Right. I would like to get more of him and Rain. I feel like they're more back characters. So we got kind of Kimmy, like a little taste of Kimmy's, but I would like to just see, just like I said, they could give it to us in part 2 and like a little, flashback. It doesn't have to be a whole long drawn out thing. Just give us a little.
I feel like I don't need Angel. I feel like Angel acts like that because he's a man, but I'm curious about Rain. Oh, not all men. Put the caption.
Put the sign up.
Oh wait, where's the banner?
Put the banner up there. Not all men. I just feel like Angel act like that because he a man.
He acts like a child, like making childlike hasty decisions off of emotion.
Yeah.
Like everything he does, like, oh, we can get this money. Do you really think you can get out of this? Y'all ain't getting out of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kimmy's the best plan he had was to get out of it.
The best plan he had was to sell that watch, but the bad thing was like you were the only person that had access to him, so he knows you have it. Like if you had been in a club where it could have been somebody else, like selling that might have been okay, but like trying to rob this.
Because Kimmy's right, like it's not worth it. He has too much power. He said the watch means something to him, so it's like okay, if Jules is the head of security and y'all pimp, what do you think is about to happen? Are you think you're gonna give him the money and be like, here's the money when he knows you took the watch?
I don't think the watch mean nothing to him. It only means $1.1 million. That's all. It ain't no sentimental value.
I mean, we don't know what it meant to him though, because we don't really know much about any of them. I think they're gonna spend season 2 really building Mallory's character, but we don't know anything about him to know what it meant to him.
That's too much like right, Shayna. They are Tyler Perry.
It's Tyler Perry production.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say we got a good bit, but there's still a lot that we didn't get, and like we said, I hope he doesn't abandon these storylines because, nope, Angel do not have sense at all. Funny. So Norman is at the hospital when Jules comes to pay a visit, but Norman does not care about anything but an update. What is going on? Did you find out who did this? And he says, he's working on it. He tells him everyone in the tow yard was found taken out, where that's the same place where Enid's body was found, and he's trying to get the camera footage from the area. Now we know he's not, but at this point, Norman don't know that he ain't really doing nothing. He probably trying to hide whatever camera footage is available.
Right.
So at this point, the swelling on her brain is going down, and Norman thinks that, she'll be able to tell them what happened when she wakes up. And he believes that the nephews did this. And he kind of thinks it's because for her shares, like if she passes away and he doesn't have any kids. And so that's where his brain is going. Horace is at home when Jules finally gets here to have the conversation with them, because now that she's doing better, we need her to not do better. We need her to not tell what happened. I don't know why they think she would remember anyway, but this is what they're doing. So he tells him that she's making progress, and Jules is telling him, so that's not good. So Horace is like, I said, Horace can't stand them boys. And Jules tells him it was Roy, which I guess that's what Mallory told him, but really she was the first one, but she ain't never admitted to that. Because she hit her, and then Roy kind of ran over her second. But it happened on Horace's properties, and all the cameras were scrubbed, so they're good there. But they're still worried that she's gonna remember. I don't know how she would. So Horace is kind of saying, I would let Roy rot in jail, but I don't want to give my brother the satisfaction. So he's like, they nothing like me. They're just like they stinking mama. I said, well, I'll tell us how you really, really feel, Horace. So Jules is like, listen, I can take care of it. But he says, no, that's going to be too messy. He's got a guy at the hospital named Peter. He owes him a salad. He'll get it taken care of. So we fast forward. We in the hospital that night. A little nurse comes in. She's coming to take care of Ina. Now, I don't know why that man let her stand there, put that needle in. Well, I guess sometimes they do inject things with a needle into your IV, but she injects that needle into the IV. And so like, oh, she's one lucky woman. He's like, no, I'm the lucky man. So she offers him a bed, but later when he goes to get the bed, the nurse ain't there. The people at the nurse's station don't know nothing. He asked, he was asking. They're like, no, it's just the two of us. Maybe, it was a shift change. So now his wheels start to turn. And Nita, any thoughts on Norman at the one in the updates? Jules don't know nothing. Horace got the hookup, and the hookup comes in the room with the IV and the needle.
I am so shocked that he actually allows someone to come in that room. I know when we're in the room, I've been in the room with several people in the hospital. They come in, they be like, we're getting ready to administer this. They look at your tag. They try to make sure the tag equals the medication, all the stuff. Do this is antibiotic. This is a what. They run it down.
Right.
But because he is a powerful man, all she had to do is stroke his ego. She's like, oh yeah, you're this wing that you gave us, and you do a great job. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna get you a bed. I'm gonna do, like, she was doing all the things. And he's sitting up there letting her delete his wife
right in front of his face.
Right in front of his face, and smiling.
Because at first I was like, why would you let somebody walk in with a needle? And then I'm like, yeah, I guess, like you said, I guess they do put stuff in there, but they usually do give you the rundown. Like, we're going to give you 10 mgs of sa. Yeah.
They absolutely do. It was insane to me. And I knew it. I was just like, I thought she was actually just going to go ahead and flatline altogether.
I did too.
But it didn't happen like that. It was just something, it was like it was something that flies under the radar.
That was probably a better thought.
Okay, I see what you're doing here. But at the same time, maybe he ain't been in the hospital. Maybe he don't know the protocols. Maybe if somebody come in there with a nurse's outfit, he just take it for face value. But child,
I guess so. Yeah, that would make sense too. Because most of the time I've been in the hospitals for having kids. I've been in there once or twice for being sick. But some people, I guess, live their whole life without going to the hospital.
Look, especially men. Unless put the band. Yes. So it did. That's what I said. I was like, she was stroking that, she was working that thing real good. He was sitting up there like,
yeah, I did donate. Shayna, your thoughts?
Shayna, can y'all got to read the comments out loud because I can't see them.
Oh, I just put not all men. Okay, what's the comments? Oh, Monique Nicole says she got to watch the show. Everybody's talking about it. DeMarcus says I'm surprised that Horace didn't know that Jules ran the strip club. Yeah, me too. Mama Mac says nurse distracted him with flattery and he was stressed about his wife. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Like I feel like he was so stressed out. He was tired because he was there the whole time, so he just never even thought like, okay, maybe this might be somebody trying to get me or out to get me. Once he realized that it was an illegitimate nurse, he shouldn't try to move the wife that night, like right then and there. He shouldn't have waited. Yeah. But I mean, I think he was just tired. You don't know what you're gonna do. Yeah, you don't know what you're gonna do in that situation. I think he was like, am I hallucinating? Like I'm not really sure. I thought I saw somebody. When he knew he had that feeling, he should have just moved his wife right then.
Yeah, because they were like, maybe it's the shift change. He was like, yeah, it could have been that.
Yeah, like he's questioning himself, like, but no, he should have been like, no, because then he knew his brother also has ties to the hospital, so he should have moved his wife right then. He should have never had his wife going there to begin with. The hospital is raggedy.
Right. Was it the same hospital though? The same one that
Rain the same one that Rain is in.
Why?
No.
I guess because it's the closest hospital.
No. Well,
because they kept saying
we would be skipping ahead. It's not the one that Rain. It's not the one that Rain was originally in because Rain was in like the county.
She was in the county, right?
That's the same one I think that the wife was in.
That would be stupid.
No, she was she was in Horace something whatever.
Yeah,
but the family got tied to the one hospital. That's why I felt like Jules kept knowing that Kimmy was coming up there because the family had ties to it. And then when they moved
but that was a different hospital though.
I thought it was the same hospital that Rain was in.
No, if we jump ahead to episode 7 and 8, then yes, but initially no. Rain was in like a county, and they were
I thought she was in the county too.
No, she was in like some prestigious heart hospital where they had donated all of this stuff to.
Right, and that's why I didn't understand why he wanted to move her. So the reason for the move is because maybe she was in the county hospital.
Yeah, I thought it was because she was in the county hospital where they were donating.
No, I thought they just wanted to move her because, like he said, the family had donated all of this money, so he felt like Horace was behind it, which he was.
Oh, he felt safe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he didn't feel safe. But I thought that because Jules knew every time Kimmy went up there, and I thought it was because he has ties, their family has ties to the hospital.
Yeah, because when they were trying to move it to county, he said no. Because remember when he was like, well, when we get to it in a few minutes, when he starts to get ready to move the wife, and they're like, well, we can move it to county. That's the closest. He was like, absolutely not. You will not be moving.
Right. Okay. Right. That's why I feel like I'm not tripping.
No, they just.
I don't know. But I feel like Tyler don't leave enough context clues.
Well, because they never showed, I think, the name of the one that Rain was in. We just got the name of the one that Eno was in. So I think some people just made the assumption.
I don't know, the way the nurses were sitting there giggling, it just looked like the same hospital.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure because they're such a big family, they probably have connections in both.
Yeah, but then I feel like when Rain got moved, Jules would have known that they were up there because he knew every time Kimmy went up to that hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like Jules knows everything. Like every hospital, he knows everything. Like, Jules, who are you? We need a deep dive on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, how you get all this power? Because I feel like Mallory, she like, he doesn't need to know all of our secrets.
Right.
So So
she said that from episode 1.
Absolutely.
Or
so
2.
like,
well, we never even went back to the DUI situation. So I mean, that's a Tyler Perry production.
Yeah, if I want to deep dive on anybody, I think it'll be Jules for me. Like, Rain, Bird, the other.
Not for me. Jules is just a dirty cop.
Okay. But I still want to know how he has these ties. Like,
I want to know what he knows. Like, I feel like he has something. Like he's got something on everybody.
Yeah, he does. Tamika said county was closer. Mama Max said Jules had people in the county hospital. Yeah, I think he did. I think he had people in county.
Yes, Tanya has more hoes
than Swiss cheese.
Yes. They called it.
B says they called it county hospital. Okay. Yeah, Jules does effort. Yeah, they are tracking Kimmy's phone.
Oh yeah, and he's spending a lot of time. Horace is spending a lot of time with Kimmy.
Yeah,
so
they were tracking her phone.
Can put together a lot of stuff just from the tracking and all of the things.
But they weren't tracking her phone on the first episode when she was going to figure out she's going to win a scholarship. Like,
that's true.
They
I don't know. I feel like Jules is, but Bobby's not. I feel like Jules has access to stuff, but Body doesn't. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he can track it, but she can't.
Jules didn't realize that Kimmy was at Horace's house. Nobody knew. Like, it seemed like he never go to sleep. Like, how did you miss that?
Yeah, look, I guess that's the Swiss cheese that Mama Mac is talking about, because some of it don't just go together.
And a lot of times you get kind of used to somebody's behavior if they feel like they've fallen in line. That's why I felt like Body kept saying we need to alert him so we can, put him on high alert so he can look into it. Like, she kept on saying, she's like, we need to tell Jules. And I think Delinda, whoever the old person is, the old mother at Delinda, she was just like, you can't handle it. And so I felt like that was the barrier. There was some type of barrier between the information and stuff like that. And so they kept trying to put it back on Body, but Body doesn't have the full information. Right. She can only get that from Jules.
Yeah.
And then when she tried to get it from Jules, he was like, Look at the picture over there, girl.
With that mouth, get that mouth out of here.
I hollered when he said that line. I said, "Oh."
So speaking of which, the ladies they're over there eating at the little dining spot, and Jules pulls up. Body goes right out with her attitude and her fur coat, and he's not pleased with her for not keeping Kimmy in line. He says maybe she's the wrong girl for the job, and maybe Kimmy should be in control. She didn't. That was the beginning of the end for poor Kimmy. So she says she'll do anything for him, and she tries to go and give this man some brain, and he is disgusted. That's when he grabs her mouth like, ugh, I know where that mouth has been, and then he just puts her.
I always thought they were sleeping together the whole time.
I did too.
So I was caught off guard with that.
For her to be the bottom B, I was like, oh, she the bottom B. He said,
like, girl, you're replaceable. He ain't sleeping with none of y'all.
He was like, ew.
That was very rich. I was like, come on.
He was like, I know where that mouth has been, and I don't want it over here. I said,
oh, what? You the same caliber. Come on over here and get it.
Baby.
And not to jump ahead, but then we saw later on that he got somebody. Like, wait a minute, you had somebody this whole time?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So she goes inside. She's basically like, get back. She's sending the girls back to work because she's mad. So she's talking to Delinda. And so she's like, where her mama stay? She got a sister. And they're like, the only people she cares about is Rain and Angel. But, we start to get a little jokes from Delinda because Body is just mad, but Delinda don't really care. She's like, I am going to eat because my blood pressure is it's a little low. So we move on from there. Mallory calls Charles about the lawsuit, and she's like, she wants to talk and meet. And speaking of lawsuit, Charles got fine ass Barney in the shower at that very moment. I said, damn. That's why he ain't want no Mallory in episode 4.
That was the gimme gotcha. That was the gimme gotcha of this episode.
Barney. Yeah, because I wasn't expecting that plot twist.
My mouth was like, what?
Until I saw that belly tattoo, then I was like, okay, oh no, it makes sense.
Well, they say he used to be. I don't.
But the way Tyler Perry be sleeping around.
Yeah, they said that he's been in a lot of Tyler Perry plays, Barney, which I didn't know, and I guess people had suspected and was just waiting for him to reveal. And that he's, that's what side of the thing he swing on.
This is big reveal,
baby. I was like, jaw drop.
I was surprised, Charles. I didn't think that the lawyer would even want to, knowing that Charles is just out there
sleeping around.
Anybody, he just go to the strip club. He don't got no pics. Like
Barney ain't Jules. He said he don't care. He know what it is.
Yeah.
That was
he said, I did not know Barney was not.
I'm like, what?
Lord. And he got some good taste in men, Charles, because that one that he had in the glass window in episodes 1 through 3, he was a cute little chocolate man too. I said, oh, okay, you like the chocolate men. Okay, I see. Except for Angel, I don't know where he got the old Angel's little stinking butt from, but I said, okay. So he's kind of asking him about the lawsuit, and that's when he says, it will bring the company down, but he's like, my he's kind of saying, I think his dad would stop it, and he's like, he doesn't know if his dad or his uncle would be able to find a way. Charles isn't happy with the situation, but Barney is trying to keep up appearances because he said, the father wouldn't be appreciative of him being out. He's got to keep appearances for his clients. And besides, like I said, Charles stay in the clubs with the different men. So Barney's like, you know what it is. Speaking of keeping up appearances, Mallory looks at a news article and reminds Roy that she will not be embarrassed. She is slapping him all upside the head. Like, look at this, read this. You're stupid. You're dumb. I will take you out. I said, oh, okay. So she goes to work and leaves Jillian's behind back at the house. She gonna tell Jillian this is the scene that got everybody that she smells like hair grease and mothball, and she smells like Jim Crow. That was the line of episode 5 for everybody.
Baby, I almost fell the F out. I said, what the?
Yeah, that was funny.
What
That's when it's turned into a comedy.
Like,
hair grease and mothballs, and then she said, "Just smell like Jim Crow." I was like, "Oh Lord."
Oh my God! Said it like it's your fault. You're the one dressing her. Like you trying to take this little jab at her.
I hollered. I'm telling
you. Did you sit? Your tears even stink. Did you sit on this side of the car? Let me go sit on the other side. I said, Mallory, why are you this way? Who made you like
I thought Mallory knew that Calvin and Jillian were messing around because I'm like, why else is she treating her like this?
She treats everybody like this.
Yeah, that's she does.
But she's jealous. She's jealous of Jillian.
Well, she's jealous of her being young. She said, "Don't nobody look at her old behind no more."
Yeah, that's why she's jealous of her.
Listen, for somebody to say you smell like Jim Crow and you ain't even white, baby. Right. What kind of an insult is that? Like, I'm still sitting up here trying to figure it out.
She didn't hire her. Jules hired her. That's why I was wondering why he made her the assistant. Oh,
right. So that's why Mallory acts like she acts because she doesn't know who to trust.
Yeah, right. She don't know where these people come from. Jules Calvin just brings them in.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yep, because he was talking ish about her and Calvin. So
that was a mess.
Jillian tries to go ahead and put the moves on Roy, but Roy thinks that Mallory set it up. So he is like, get your ass away from me. Get away from me with this, Jillian. Go on ahead and get.
You know it's bad when Roy says no.
He gonna call her. I know you circling back. She was like, "What do you stupid? What do you mean? Get off my phone. I gotta go to work." I said, and I thought she really would have circled back after he said that, but I guess she said he know better, and he sure did because he was like, "Nope, you get your ass up on out here right now." I don't know what you got going on. So over at the hospital, Norman comes in. The doctor comes in and tells Norman that Ina took a turn. She developed severe bleeding on the brain, and so she has no brain activity. And he's left to make the decision whether to keep her on the machines. So he's in shambles. She's kind of telling him take all the time that he needs. So he calls Jules and tells Jules that he wants to move Ina. He's like, I know my brother got to her. I want to move my wife. Like Norman gonna scream and yell and holler. So he's screaming and yelling and hollering on the phone. Jules calls Horace. No, he calls Horace and said, you did this to her. And Horace is like, crickets, like I don't care. So he's like, I will take out both your sons. And he said, don't you call announcing what you're gonna do it. And I said, I know that's right. That was the end of
That's
episode
what Kimmy
5.
should have said to Jules.
And I said the beast is unleashed. She sure should have.
Yeah.
Horace is a bad mother. Shut your mouth. I said, oh. Okay. Any thoughts about we getting ready to move Ina? We already talked about Mallory. Jillian smelling like Jim Crow. And what else did I miss?
No.
Oh, and Varney. We talked about Varney already. Any final thoughts before we finish out with episode 6?
No, I feel like I kind of had a little reaction.
So outside of their building, of the Bellary building, the folks are protesting. But Mallory goes around the back. Jules meets with her because she's about to go to work, but he wants her to go talk some sense into Norman for moving Ina. And I said, I don't trust Jules, and I don't trust Mallory. They probably cut from the same cloth, but neither one of them are trustworthy to me. I feel like they both up to something. So Mallory wants to know who Roy was with. This, like, that is the 4, 5, and 6. I even cut it out of some of the notes because she asked Calvin. She trying to track him and can't find, like, whole time. I said, I don't know why she's so invested in finding out who this is, but she wants. So I guess that's what we're gonna get in part 2. She's invested in finding out. So he's telling her to keep her hands clean. He's like, what are you going to do? The same thing that you did to the last one? I said, what did she do to the last one?
Right. See, and that's what
that's more holes in the story.
That's what
she's adamant about not being embarrassed.
I feel like we're going to explore that.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Norman do like Mallory.
I don't know, it's Tyler Perry, so.
Right. He always be throwing
the whole family likes Mallory, and I'm like, why? So nobody knows.
I feel like just because they don't like each other, and she's like, because I laugh because like I have issues with my family sometimes, and I always say the person that I could probably communicate with the most is my sister-in-law, because like she on the outside looking in at the foolishness, like she family, but you know what I'm saying. So I feel like they kind of put Mallory in that position where they know she might be in, but. You got Charles, you got
Mallory.
Roy.
Just seems fake though. Like it seems like she's cold, like she's code switching. Like it seems like she's acting when she's talking to them. No one ever questioned like maybe Mallory ran her over. Like nobody thought for a second maybe Mallory could have did it.
Right.
Never.
And I'm like, y'all just give her too much grace.
Yeah, she puts on that front like Melody Holtz.
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
The part 2 comes out in spring of 2025. We ain't having an exact date, but spring of 2025. She said they like her because he runs the company well. It could be that too.
Right.
Yeah, she is
right. Sometimes you be so busy hating the rest of the family.
Doing the work, you know.
Right. Because if she's out of the way, then who? Roy don't got no sense.
All of them are
Charles don't care. Yeah. They better get Debbie Morgan back in there.
They don't like her for whatever reason. I mean, we know what Ina's reason is, but the rest of them. Ina gone though. So Mallory gets there and he tells her, he doesn't know. He tells her, like, listen, you don't know this family. And he's asking her if she knows who did this. And he's like, no, I don't. But she's so certain that it's not Roy. So he's like, how did she end up in a tow yard? And I said, more importantly, how did a 64-year-old woman get hit by a car, then ran over by a car, then thrown in the trunk, drove across the straight lines and survived? But I digress, because when the trunk was popping open when they got pulled over, I said, what are we even doing here, Tyler? You're playing with me. And when they was pan on that tow yard and she wasn't in there, we were like, how? Stop. I'm gonna leave it alone. So he tells her, about, like I said, a little shootout situation and ask if it was Charles. And she's like, no. And then she's like, well, do you have any enemies in the business? And she's like, well, what does Jules says? And he said he doesn't trust Jules right now. So then an ad for the lawsuit comes on TV, and he kind of tells her, like, shouldn't you be getting back to work on that? So for all her talking, she can't help. She goes on out the door to get in the car to go back to work. He get in the ambulance to move Ina. And she calls Jules to let him know, but she doesn't know. Like, he ain't even told nobody where he going. He ain't going to county. Any thoughts, other thoughts on Miss Mallory? Like I said, I think they just like Mallory because she ain't one of the family. That's it.
Yeah, she does run a company. I'm surprised that the uncle even told her that he doesn't trust Jules. I wouldn't even told her that.
Right.
Jules would have found out I don't trust him when he found out.
Right. You find out when I'm not returning your calls. How about that?
Right. Jules should know he wasn't. He was obvious that he wasn't. Because how I told you she's doing better. She's about to get released. And the next day, all this happened. As soon as I told you, you're the only person I told.
Mm-hmm.
But it's crazy because they're the two that have the business together with the strip club and everything. So if you don't have trust in him, like how is this going to continue to work? But I guess that's.
But I mean, he just lost trust in him just now, so
right.
We got to figure all that out.
And I don't know why we never tried to figure out. I mean, actually, I take that back. I think that was episodes 1 to 3, and Roy did try to get Mallory to look and see if she had ID. Because I'm like, I don't know why y'all didn't try to figure out who this was before we got in the car to go to Indiana in the first place. But that's just me.
And it can only be so many people. Like y'all couldn't narrow it down.
Yeah, you're on a private road.
Many people it could be.
Mm-hmm. So if everybody else is still alive,
Charles ain't bringing no women over there.
Yep.
Roy don't bring his women to the house. So who else could it be?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Exactly.
Right.
So they should have took that. And I don't know why he wasn't looking for the wife before then. Like, you didn't know she was missing. She never came back from her run, and you just didn't notice.
Right. Who was he with?
You just was running in the rain in the dark, like, she'll be here when she gets here. Like, so Kimmy is still out of it, child. She's still reeling over Rain. Meanwhile, outside the motel room, Angel's baby mama done set the car on fire. She was cracking me up. I said, see, this is why you don't play with people. But I mean, this is bad communication. This is bad communication. Although I'm sure she wouldn't want him over there dancing for Horace. But I digress. So now he's crying. Oh, all I got left of my clothes is in the car. I don't got nothing. He's like, the further I get ahead, the more I get back. Crazy ish happens to me. She's like, this is getting ahead. So he's determined that if they hit this lick, they can get out of it. They'll get Rain better. And then Kimmy finally reveals that baby Rain is gone, which is why she had even agreed to come on board at that point. But he starts talking about them putting Ish from the hardware store in her body, and Angel says they tried to get him to do it too. I guess they trying to get these men to put it in their penis like some of the other guys. I said,
oh my God.
Yeah, you didn't hear him say that?
No.
Yes.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, he said they tried to get him to do it too, and one of the other guys talking about he can't get hard now anymore.
Yeah.
Because they just injected and everybody making their dollars off everybody. Yes, Dominique, not too much on her man Horace. She don't like you talking about Horace. Horace is curious. So he said he wants to get the money and run to the DR, and Kimmy is being the rational one, like, Jules took all our IDs. How we gonna get to the DR? Let's make it make sense. But whole time she's saying this, but she's still going along with him. It's what pissed me off about her. So she tells him to look up a Jane Doe in Texas, and it's like, I guess, one of the former dancers, and she's like, they can get rid of us anytime they want. She's like, or maybe, that would be better for to no longer be here. Any thoughts on this whole scheme that Todd had set up that's not about to go well? Angel.
I just think it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And Kimmy just got her emotions and let him talk her into it. Like, you really going off of your emotions, Kimmy, knowing this is a bad idea, knowing what you're dealing with. Like, listening to Angel hasn't gotten y'all nowhere this far. So why would you listen to him now? This don't even make any sense. You're going to try to rob him. You don't even know, like, what the security looks like. Y'all don't know anything. You briefly walk in his house. You don't know what the setup is.
Right, exactly. And they wasn't never going to get in his house, so I don't even know why she said she's like, there's only a couple houses and they got security, so I don't. It was a bad plan.
Whole time he gave him the address to another house. So and then they all were still going to go through with it. So and it's just like all this could have been resolved with Kimmy if she would have had communication. Like Horace could have communicated better with her. She should have said something to him. She kept assuming, oh, you know, oh, you already know. Like clearly the man don't know what you're talking about.
Like, yeah, I was mad at both of them because she wasn't elaborating and he wasn't really asking that many questions.
Every time he did, she would shut him down. He was like, why do you live in a motel? Like, don't act like you don't know. Like, girl, he don't know.
Yeah. She said, how you don't know? How Norman's wife, they said, Harpo, who is this woman? They sure did. Right. Who is this woman in the road?
A lot of times they play the long game. And so you don't really know what Horace knows. You don't know what he's
right.
Like you walk into
and he did lie from the start, acting like he
income and he was on income, all of that. So he could have been trying to figure out, since she was deemed a problem, he could have been trying to figure out what all was going on.
But and I think
okay.
No, I was gonna say I think it was episode 3 when she was telling Rain about the situation, and she was like, "Oh, that's because," she was like, "Well, if he has money, why didn't he get you privately like the other guy, which was Roy?" She's like, "Oh, you mean Roy? That's his dad." I was like, "Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, why would he have to go to the club to get like I don't know." I guess he didn't want the people on his property, but knowing that he had a second house, so why we couldn't do it at the second house?
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was a thing either. B. I don't think it might not be a thing, but Tyler Perry likes to make things up. So
I think it is. Cause I mean, Daga said like she was playing a real life character. If they put it in the women, then they could be putting it in the men to make them look like they got bigger junk. Or then if you can't even use the bathroom at this point,
that's what I'm saying. Like women, women is different. We just talking about. I mean, you got to sit, but like not. I gotta pee, and you gonna put some stuff.
I think it's a real thing. I feel like they didn't get this from nowhere.
Yeah, he put us up on game, girl, because I ain't know.
Yeah,
I swear I ain't know.
I didn't know either.
Because all I know is that these women will take any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Like,
child, I thought we was just stuffing with socks and stuff. I didn't think we was really putting
right.
No stuff in
these women out here scooting on the dick. They scooting.
And then it does. Then he said it doesn't even work anymore. It's like y'all don't want to take him to the hospital, like to get this figured out. Like,
no, they don't care.
Like, oh, well.
So Roy takes his ass to work and decides he want to go in the front instead of going right through the protesters, instead of going around the back and having some sense about himself. He gonna ask who's paying y'all. So the lady. It's like, my daughter has cancer. Tell her she's being paid to be here. He said, oh, shoot. He's like, that's about to go viral. It is. Now he walks off and up walks Lena, the lawyer, to serve him. Now, apparently, these two went to school together, and he was getting high even back then and trying to push up on her, but he don't remember any of that. I said, powerful drug. So she's like, let's talk. You're the smart one. We know who's really running things. I said, why y'all all tell this man y'all be trying to stroke this man's ego when they call him stupid? So he said, you must think I'm stupid. I said, she does. And then he's asking after she leaves, like, how does she get on private property? So now he fires the security guard. I'm like, yeah. Jillian's over there playing in Mallory's office when Roy comes in. Now she apologized for coming on to him, but then still tries to push up on him again. And he turns her down again. Yes, egg on your face for the second time. So Jules pays him a visit while he's in there looking up Lena, and he still wants to torture poor Kimmy. So Jules is like, listen, Mallory wants to know who it is. I'll give her one of the other girls that's not acting right. And he's asking, like, why did the two of you stay together? And Roy's like, for her, it's for appearances. And for the both of them, they're staying together for the shares. And I'm like, don't be sharing all this with Jules. Jules know too much. We don't trust Jules. So he's telling him, like, listen, you shouldn't have come through the front door. The same thing that Mallory's kind of telling him. But he's like, oh, no. Then Roy is saying the same thing Mallory says, like, why don't you just move the people from front of the building? But Jules is like, he wants to play it cool. He doesn't want to, move them by force. So he tells him he's thinking about taking a meeting with Lena, the lawyer. And he's like, listen, let your dad or Mallory handle it. And so now Roy is offended. He says, oh, we know who runs this, just let it ride. And then when it blows up, let Mallory take the fall. But he runs over to Mallory and shows her the video that now has gone viral of Roy saying, who's paying y'all? And the poor little girl with the cancer. So he's like, you need to get him under control. He wants to talk to Lena. So he's also going around telling people that he runs stuff. So she's like, well, what about Ina and Norman? So Jules is like, he don't know. He got it. He gonna call him. But she's still looking for this name of who Roy is with. And I have also of note, because I just put this in here in the middle. Varney is trying to protect Charles, who just want to go have fun. And he tries to get him to come back to his place after. He said he can even bring a guy if you want. Charles isn't trying to hear it. So Varney says he's done. And Charles pulls down his pants and shows us his nasty looking ass. Any thoughts on Lena the lawyer, Charles's ass, Roy going in the front door?
Oh, hot mess. That's all I can say.
Jillian getting turned down again. Any thoughts on any of that, Shayna?
I mean, yeah, all a hot mess. I don't know why Charles need to pull his pants down. Tyler Perry just doing stuff like for no rhyme or reason. That didn't have nothing to do with anything. Just unnecessary.
So I'm not tripping. Like,
yeah, like it just. I keep saying Tyler Perry's living out his wildest fantasies. Why? But Julian getting turned down, it makes it. Roy don't. We acting like, oh, he's slow, he's high, but I mean he got some sense on him to know not to trust Jillian. But going through that front door, being all rebellious, he's mad because Mallory's the face. Like, because you keep doing stupid stuff like this. Like, your decisions aren't making sense. You're up here talking to the lawyer. Like, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? He gonna cause the whole company to go bankrupt because he's making stupid decisions. But
he literally does nothing.
Right, he does nothing, and then you're the only one who went through the front door. Like, what are you doing? And then you're up here talking to people. My daughter with her cancer in a wheelchair. Like, oh my gosh.
And then I was gonna say, and then you're not gonna go quietly. Like, it's one thing to just walk through the crowd and be quiet, but now you're going to try to antagonize the people.
Right. Yeah. Then once he said my daughter, he didn't apologize or nothing. Like, and you get mad at the security guard who tried to tell you where you're in the wrong. It's just a mess.
It's a mess.
But all right, ladies, I gotta jump off. Everybody like, comment, share, subscribe.
Thank you,
Shayna. We'll be back next week. Almost done. We'll be back next week to finish up 7 and 8.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Night. So Kimmy gets a call from her sister Sylvie, and Chester, the is still taking the money that she's sending her and won't let her be on the cheerleading team. And I said, I hope he's not harming that poor girl like he was doing Kimmy before she left.
Girl.
She says she turns 18 in 2 years, and then she wants to come live with her. And so Kimmy tells her she's gonna wire her some money, but like this time, like wait till they play in the numbers and sneak over there and get the money, and so they don't take the money from you. Which I said, y'all take the money from the poor baby. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So now she goes and starts crying to Angel about what happened to Rain, and that's the only person that loved her other than her sister. And I was like, ooh, when she started talking, I said, oh girl. So she tells him that her sister was crying when she saw her mom drop her off at the store. She said Rain and her sister were it for her. So she says now she lies to her when she calls and tells her she's a nurse and that she's doing okay. And she wants to do more than survive. She wants out. So she's basically telling him hitting a lick is not going to work. And he's like, well, let's go get your sister first. And she's like, no, after, because they need to be sure. And immediately I was worried about the sister, but I guess we're going to get into that in the next live when we get in episode 7 and 8. But baby, I was like, oh no, because Bonnie had already asked if you ask about her mama, her sister and everything. And now you're giving Angel this information. And she also starts saying that she has a soft spot for Horace because he reminds her of her grandfather, but he's not her grandfather because he would have held his word. Now Angel's like, what you talking about, Willis? And he's like, he didn't want to know any of this. And she's like, you're in it already. So I said, child, Angel is the problem. Okay, for sure. So we get to our last scene, I believe. Mr. Norman is in the ambulance and they are transporting Ina when she starts to crash. And he's like, you better save her. I said, oh, Lord. So they pull over and try as they might, they cannot save her.
This was a lie.
The guy's like, I'm sorry. He's like, you told me you could move her. He said, I was wrong. Do you know my brother? Child. So he takes everyone in that mother father out, starting with the doctor. And then he just gets out the thing and just walks away. And that's where episode 6 ends. I said, Lord.
I'm like, that's what we doing?
Not you just gonna leave the bodies in the street. You gonna call anybody? No, he's gonna leave a ambulance with your dead wife and all of these bodies in the middle of the street and walk away.
That's a Tyler Perry mess. I'm telling you, it is nothing.
You know my brother. The lady said no. Nothing. He said, "Pap." I said, "I can't."
It is nothing. The pow, 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 pow.
Oh God, that's why Inga said it was a comedy. Now it wasn't a comedy, but we definitely had a couple of moments that was like, Tyler, what?
Well, at least I do appreciate him. Like, you know how sometimes you watch a show and they say that this person is a bad guy, but
right?
we haven't seen this person be a bad guy,
right?
So now, you know,
when
the lady, the lady, whatever her name, she was scared of him because she knows what he's capable of.
Oh, Olivia,
and then we get to see it like in real time, like whatever.
She said he's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Listen, I was like, oh. Now I see why you trying to put that big joker out on the table. Be like, because this is what I got.
Now, she definitely should have used it though, because ain't nobody safe. And like I said, I felt bad for poor Kimmy, but Kimmy is running her mouth a little bit too much. You should have, well, I guess because she don't have rain, you should have just stuck to the part where you didn't say nothing. Sit over there and cry and be quiet. Now you done told Angel all of this, and I'm kind of wondering, did Body, getting into our next live, did he give this information to Body? Did she find it out on her own? Because I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Sure. I know they're in Chicago. She could have found her own, but I
feel like she found out on her own.
Okay.
Because I feel like she felt like she was a problem, and so she needed to figure out how to neutralize it. So
yeah,
similar to like Power, like I need to know who that family is. That's what I think.
You think Mallory is afraid of Olivia? I know she don't like that lady. I don't know about being afraid of her.
We'll see. We'll see.
It may like Mallory's afraid of anybody. Or at least not that she shows us.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. But depending on what happens, Olivia may, exert her dominance.
Right.
Because I feel like that because she is still on the board and she is still a big prominent player, and her children, they may, I don't know how many people on there, but they may have majority of the stock. If the husband goes away, listen, she's set up. So
baby, listen. These older folks is gangster. We got Norman. We're gonna get into Horace in the next 2 episodes. So who knows? Olivia might be that girl too, because them brothers ain't playing. I don't know about the kids. The kids is a little crazy, but them older ones ain't playing around. Okay. Horace said, "Don't talk about it, be about it. You gonna take them out, then take them out." Okay. Oh,
listen. You gotta listen what the old people are saying. You see all of the young people, they reckless, they doing all the things and stuff like that. Baby, we can sniff this thing right up underneath your nose and you wouldn't be.
You know what I'm saying? Won't say it with my whole entire chest. Okay, say it with my.
Exactly. Who are these 2 girls? Is that Mallory and
I think it's
Kimmy, or is it Kimmy and Rain?
I think it's supposed to be Mallory and Kimmy.
Yeah, I think these are the 2 that are going to
the 2 main.
I think so. I think so.
Because that's why I was saying I wanted more when we did episodes 1 through 3. I kind of wanted a little bit more Rain, but I feel like we're just getting more Kimmy and Mallory. Because and then Mallory talked about her background a little bit on when she was at that conference. But I don't know if we're going to get any more of her backstory in part 2.
Yeah, and that would be good actually if part 1 is pretty much Kimmy's story, and we get Mallory's story in part 2, and then we wrap it up with a movie and for the final, like what happened. Like I would be cool with that. I'd be cool with that.
That would work. That would work for me.
On Tyler, like don't we're not doing 18 seasons of days.
That's where it's gonna lose it when you're doing the same thing over and over for seasons and seasons and seasons.
Yeah, no. Let's wrap this thing up.
I'm not DeMarcus. I actually never even watched Yellow Jackets, if I'm gonna be honest. I heard it's really good.
Yeah, we review Yellow Jackets, me, Moochie, and
Tamika. Yeah. I'm not on the Yellow Jackets train though.
Who the hell knows when that's gonna come back on? We don't even know. I still don't know.
We got enough coming in November. You guys can maybe do cross, but I think they're gonna give you all across in one drop like this.
Yikes! I hope not. But some people like the binge. I don't like the binge because I don't know what people have seen, and I don't know how to divvy out the reviews. Right. I feel like
that's the hard part because you're like, I don't want to drag it out episode by episode unless like you're doing one a day.
Yeah,
which is a lot. But
it's a lot.
If you're not, then it's like.
Oh, Tamika want to talk about Cross. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna be watching. I don't know about.
I'm gonna be watching too. And then you got all this reality TV coming back this month too. So I'm like,
Oh, Tamika says they dropping all of them.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought, that they dropping all of them. Yellow Jackets is next Sunday. Is it a new season or is it the same?
I've got to be lying. Look, I gotta fact check you. You pretty good, DeMarcus. You are good, but
unless he's trolling, because I know he'd be trolling with talking about what's the other one, Acrimony 2. Next season release date. Yeah,
2025.
Exactly. That's the same thing I got too. Unless they put it on another network, because you know how sometimes they like to put things on Netflix or someplace else, but it's the same season that you already saw. It's not like a new season.
Yeah, it may be coming to Netflix so they can get more attention,
expand their audience. Yeah, because sometimes they do that, and then the people will watch that way. But I'm excited to go through next week. We're going to wrap it up with episodes 7 and 8. I mean, I guess hindsight is 2020. We could have done 4 and 4, but 3 lives is fine. Inga did the first one. I got the next 2. So we'll wrap it up next week. I think VKJ is doing one by one. I don't, like I said, without doing one every day, it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be here that long, and then people don't have an interest for it anymore. So,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what Tamika said too.
I get that for sure.
DeMarcus.
Yeah.
But I'm excited, and I never thought I was gonna be excited because me and TP, we kind of I never watched Sisters. I heard Sisters was really good, and I was about to watch it, and just as I was about to watch it, it was like season 2 and 3. Everybody was like, no, never mind. Like it was good at the beginning, but now just leave it alone. I was like, oh, okay.
And that's normally how he kind of peters out. Like everybody gets tired. Like we sit up here, we trying to anticipate something.
Right.
And it turns out to be nothing. You be sitting a bit like,
yeah, that's why I need to say give us a part 2 and then give us one more and wrap it up.
Right. Wrap it up, baby. I'm not trying to sit here for 18 seasons.
Like, okay, this is season 3 and we are 2 days later.
Right. That's my thing. Like, you're not gonna have a woman pregnant for 5 seasons. You are Tyler. Don't play in my face. Like I'm not doing
family and
but it's a nighttime soap opera. So soap operas are daily. So
are you gonna be? I know I can not recap it. Beyond the gates, beyond the gates, whatever it's called. We're getting a black soap opera and at the top of the year.
I didn't hear about that yet.
Yeah, I think it's. I'll send it to you. I think it's Beyond the Gates. It's a soap opera though. I'll watch. I can't recap nothing. No 1,000 episodes. 1,000
right.
episodes.
I'll give it a try. I don't know if I'm gonna recap it.
I'll be crying like pop on and be like, and then something happened. Okay, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. He's like, I can't do all these videos. It's too much. And then somebody was sick in the hospital. We'll be back tomorrow. That's it. That's all. That's what I thought about doing because I got into Love Island USA this last season, but I think those are like every day for like a month or two. I was like, I would have to give y'all like a recap once a week. I cannot be doing episodes every day. That's just absolutely not.
Wow.
Absolutely not. But
they're going overboard on this content board, I tell you.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely watch that.
Is coming back on the 22nd, y'all.
Who?
All the Queen's Men.
Yes, and Married to Medicine.
On the 22nd too?
On the 24th?
Okay.
Somewhere around there. 20. That's at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's definitely.
And I have to go watch the first episode of Bell Collective. Child, is so much.
Yeah. Y'all make sure y'all like the video.
Yes, please. Yes. I am going to be watching Eat Slay Love with Nibia. But I just put the trailer on my community tab the other day because Candy said she's gonna watch it too. I don't know about no recapping, but I'm a check it on out.
Or I might just watch the clips on the blog. Who knows? Because I don't watch Queen's Court.
Oh, okay.
I don't watch a lot of things.
Oh, okay. I watched Queen's Court. It wasn't too bad. I like a little every now and again. Anybody coming through on the replay, leave a comment, hashtag replay. Like Nita said, like the video, share the videos, help try to build the algorithm up. We will be back next week for episodes 7 and 8 to wrap this thing up. Anita may be doing Toast King tomorrow, y'all. Keep your notifications on, check the community tab and all of the good things. But you will definitely see us here with the ladies. We wrapped up Love is Blind. So if you missed that, little technical difficulties, but go.
I thought I was pretty funny. So
check that out. We made it work. Go ahead and check it on out.
Like what they gave us, we made it work.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because she ready for all the Queen's Men, right?
Right.
Look, if somebody does a
That's
panel, I could hop on a panel.
Like this show kind of feels like it just kind of mixed in with another element, like that family.
All the Queen's Men, P Valley,
right?
Little Players Club.
Like it feels very familiar.
Mm-hmm. Little Players Club, and then you got Savage Beauty that was on Netflix.
Or Family Business, and they don't even do much of that. You get like a scene of that, and I'm like, why y'all keep dropping the ball on this whole lawsuit and what's going on, and why y'all not delving into that? Y'all just really mainly focusing on the 304 aspect, the Players Club aspect, the P Valley aspect, but let's get back into maybe you could put this thing back on track.
Don't give him no ideas. You just said you want a part 2 and wrap it all up. He'll be like, okay, I did a part 2. And now we're gonna do it's gonna be the Beauty Empire for seasons 3, 4, and 5. I'm just saying, don't give him no ideas. He'd be like, you're right. We did kind of focus on the underworld. Now we're gonna focus on the beauty side. Like no, we could do it all together. It'll work. Yeah, it's not that many storylines. It's only 2.
Yes, the Penguin is in a few minutes to market.
Yes, Lord. So thank you guys. Let me make sure I got everything queued up and ready to go because it's be a whole struggle bus over here. But thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you good people. Oh, wait, gotta close that out. That's about to be in the way. In the next video. Peace.